I want to show you something. This is what financial rock bottom actually looks like. I'm going to share with you today how I got there and how I was able to get out. If you are a woman over 40 and you have laid awake at night, terrified about your debt and about money, no savings, no retirement, or feeling like you've been so far behind that there's just no point of even trying, this video is for you. I've been exactly where you are, and I want you to stay with me. So I was in my early 20s. I had a really good job. I started climbing the corporate ladder. I was making really good money and getting raises on a regular basis. I bought my first house and I was so proud. I would go shopping. I would go out to eat. I would buy expensive clothes. I would get myself a new wardrobe every spring and fall. I would buy expensive shoes, and I was just living the life that I thought it was wonderful. I started to get credit cards and I had a car payment and everything was fine until it wasn't. I met my son's dad, and shortly thereafter we found out we were having a baby, and we were so excited. I thought this was the life that I wanted to live. This is the life that I had dreamed of. I had always wanted a child. We moved in together. Our plan was to buy a house. When my son was about a year old, I started to realize that things were likely not going to work out. I needed to find a different plan, and I needed to get out of the house pretty quickly. So I started looking for a house. I had moved all my things out and moved in with a relative for a short period of time until I closed on that house. As a single mom, we ended up sharing custody. We had a shared custody agreement, 50-50, and things were fine for a while until they weren't. I had this mortgage that I could not afford. I had all these additional bills that I was not getting any help paying. I had credit cards, I had a car payment, and this debt just started to pile up. And within a couple years, I started to get behind on my mortgage, and I received a foreclosure notice. I was able to file a modification for my mortgage, which brought my mortgage payment down, and that saved me for a while. So over the next several years, in addition to the foreclosure, I had bankruptcy. I had my car repossessed, and at one point I had my lights turned off. And then there was a point in time where I realized that I could take money out of my 401k. I had quite a bit of money saved. I would say I probably had maybe $50,000 or $60,000 in there. And to me, that was a lot of money, and realized that I could take loans out on that. And I started to do that just to save myself. And here's what nobody tells you: when you are in crisis, your only goal is to survive. So it was a few years ago that I was offered a part-time position in consulting. I would be able to do some auditing on the side, aside from my full-time job, and work part-time and work as an independent contractor and make $65 an hour doing this job. I would do auditing of files, and I thought, this is it. This is the thing that I need. I will be making this additional money. I would be able to pay off bills. And I thought it was the answer, but it wasn't. I did this for a short period of time. The money was wonderful, but my full-time employer found out that I was working this part-time job, and honestly, I did not think I was harming anything. I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. They fired me. I was devastated. As a person, I would never be dishonest about anything. I was not working this job during my regular job during the full-time hours, and I was just doing this part-time gig just to make extra money, to make extra money as a single mom, to be able to make it. And they fired me. That was a job that I was dedicated to. It was a job that I loved, and they terminated me. I was devastated. So I had a little bit of money left in my 401k. I panicked and I took out the rest of that money. I didn't know if I would be getting a job right away. I wasn't sure if I would be getting unemployment. And I took the remaining of that 401k money out when I lost my job. And I had it just in case if I needed it to pay bills. Fortunately, within a couple weeks, I got another job in the same kind of work, and I was making $20,000 more a year. But I share this with you today to let you know that this is not always the answer. I would have done things a lot differently as far as my 401k. There were many things that I would have done differently. First, I would have taken a step back. I would have stepped back and thought about it before I took that money out of my 401k. I would have asked for help. I would have talked to somebody, a family member. But the shame and humiliation was there. It was keeping me from telling anybody. And I would have sold the house a lot sooner. The house was putting me in debt as well. There were things, very expensive things that went wrong the last several years that I had to pay for. And in addition to paying off the debt, that 401k went towards things that I needed to have done at the house. So I'm going to tell you that I did it. I got through it. It was messy, but I did get through it. Just a year ago, I did sell my house. I was able to use that money to pay off my remaining debt. And in addition, I have some extra money that I have in saving. But I am sitting here in my apartment in the country, debt-free, building something of my own, working towards a goal of getting a house and building a business online, just to give you hope and to let you know that it is possible. So if any part of this story felt like yours, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to continue to share stories. I'm not going to tell you that I have it all figured out. I'm sitting here in my apartment in the country, debt-free though. I'm doing well, and so is my son. He's 20 years old and going to be going out on his own. And 2 years ago, I never believed that this was possible. I'm going to keep showing up here and sharing with you what women our age go through. You don't have to figure it out alone, and I'll see you next time.